I think it's a very big, big deal for the Baltimore Ravens. Here we go. Let's bring it back, man. We had talked about this in the chat. Dolphins versus Ravens. Ravens coming off an all-time win against the 49ers. This is a classic letdown spot for me here. I like the Dolphins here. I like the Dolphins plus the points. I'm waiting to understand if Waddle's going to play because I think he's been said to have a high ankle sprain. Now, can they win with just Tyreek? I think they can. I think another key injury here is Hamilton, the safety, standout safety from Notre Dame for Baltimore. I think it's a very big deal for the Baltimore Ravens. So the one thing that I don't like is that now the Ravens are feeling themselves as they should. There was a lot of talk about them being underdogs, a lot of talk about San Francisco. They kept their mouth shut. They went and handled business. But now they're like feeling themselves. They're talking a little bit more. McQueen came out, said enough with all this cute bullshit. We just hit people in the mouth. I don't know where McQueen era is in, but Baltimore's always been like that. There ain't nothing new about Baltimore type football. That's the type of players that they draft. I think it was kind of skewed at the end of that game that they took out their linemen and Clowney started to get off a little bit there. I think CMC has some success in that game. Kittle obviously has some success in that game. So to me, this defense can be had. The problem was Purdy, right? He did turnovers. Now, a couple tip balls, things like that, but it's still a problem. And I think with Miami, I think that they're going to look at this game, and I think they're going to be able to have some success. I'm on Miami. I'm just waiting to understand where this line is going to go because I think if Waddle's out but Hamilton plays, I think this line goes to 4. If they're both out, I think maybe drops down to 3, but maybe stays at 3. Baltimore should be favored by 3. Let's not get it twisted. Baltimore should be favored in this game, and they're respectfully so. I just think that Miami wins this game. Now that goes into another whole thing that we talked about last week with Lamar and San Fran, and that was the future MVP odds. And with that being said, if you liked Baltimore to beat San Fran, then you had to like Lamar to win the MVP because that was an MVP moment. And that's already come to fruition. I'll link that video up top to let you know what the take was. But it was an MVP type game, and I said whoever wins this game is likely going to win the MVP. Now, MVP awards have been a crapshoot because it's all a cluster of everybody in the same boat saying if they win this game, then they're likely to win MVP. So let me say it again. If Tua wins this game, he's likely to win MVP. Right now, Tua is 10-1 to win the MVP. And I like Miami. And I think it was Buffalo. With Buffalo left on Miami's schedule. If Miami wins out, because I think that game in Miami, I think that game is in
It's
Miami.
in Miami. Yep. They've already played the Buffalo game.
Okay. So if Tua wins out, I think Tua has a strong case to win MVP because I think he's at 4,200 yards. One of these games is going to be a big game. So he'll probably go ahead.
If Miami wins this game, Tua will be like plus 300 next week. Like if Miami wins this game, it'll literally be plus 300, plus 300, plus 300 basically.
I think it'd be less.
Tua, Lamar, and Christian McCaffrey, they'll all be about the same.
I think it'd be less. I think Tua will be almost plus 175.
That's fine. So maybe even the slight favorite. What I'm
Yeah,
saying, regardless, is this is your last chance all year to catch Tua Tagovailoa at 10-1 for MVP.
correct.
If they lose this game, then obviously he's going to be done for the year and won't win it. But
Yep.
if Miami wins this game, he's in the driver's seat essentially, or it's going to come down to him, Allen, and McCaffrey, and you're getting way better odds, like you're saying, 10-1 than you would be to take Miami money line this week. So I'm right there with you. We talked about it in the chat, man. This is a great bet that you're speaking about here, and you're putting our listeners on to. You talked about it last week with Lamar. If you like the underdog here, or even if you just like betting value and you just like futures, take Tua Tagovailoa at 10-1 right now.
And a lot riding on this game. Baltimore can clinch the AFC title with a win.
Yep.
They can also clinch the number 1 seed and first bye, home field advantage with a win. Miami can clinch the AFC East division title with a win. So, huge playoff feel for this game.
100%.
I just like Miami's chances here. I think Baltimore's feeling themselves. I think Miami's going to be ready for this game. Give me the Dolphins at plus 3.5. I already have a bet with Tua to win MVP, so I'm kind of biased. I have him at 7-1 already, but I'll put half a unit just to double up. Give me 10-1 on Tua to win MVP.
Yeah, I'm putting a little 1 unit on Tua at 10-1. And I will say I'm torn on the game itself as far as the line goes. Like, I'm not going to touch Miami money line for obvious reasons. I just said why.
I like the points. I'll take the points. I'm not going to take the money line.
And if you're taking money line, then you just take Tua and the value in his MVP on the win. That's more value than the value on money line. That being said, I'm torn on the spread because part of me thinks that the public perception will push this line to 4. And then part of me thinks that the sharps won't let it get to 4, meaning like maybe for a half millisecond, the line hits 4, and then some sharp group out there realizes it hits 4, bets it heavy, and it instantly drops back down to 3.5. So I kind of feel like the line's going to stay where it is, but I've locked in on Tua 10-1, and I'm willing to wait it out and see if it gets to 4 on the spread.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I like Tua here, man.
This feels like a game where the average Joe will be betting the Ravens off of what they saw last week, and sharp money will be on Miami.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a good letdown spot for Baltimore. I think they won 5 or 6 straight.
Yeah, and you said it perfectly. Like, the Niners didn't play bad. I think their game plan was a little off. I think they should have went into the game trying to focus on Christian McCaffrey. Why they put the ball into Brock Purdy's hands. It's almost like Kyle Shanahan wanted to prove how good Brock Purdy was on the national stage instead of just doing what they normally do, which is run, play action off that. He got a little bit out of character with his game plan, and he kind of like tried to focus on Purdy drop back throwing, and that to me just was a little goofy. And then Purdy had a terrible game on top of it, and you nailed it. Like, when you go back and watch that tape, the Niners had guys open. The Ravens were sitting there talking around like they pushed people around, and I didn't really see that, to be honest. I just saw one QB that just had a randomly horrible game, and it actually happens to every QB. Go look at any QB that's ever played. They're going to have 1 or 2 games every 20 games that's just like, damn, what the hell were they doing? That was this game for them. We saw it with Hurts this year. Hurts' game versus the Jets was like, dude, is this guy good? He didn't even look like he knew what the hell he was doing versus the Jets. Purdy didn't look like he was knew what he was doing. And the likelihood that they're going to catch Tua having one of his worst games of his career this week is slim to none.
Back to back? Yeah, no. It's not happening. And not even that. I mean, Hamilton had 2 picks. I mean, they had 4 picks. Like, the ball bounced Ravens' way in every opportunity. Every 50-50 time, it bounced the Ravens' way. I don't think that happens again. I don't think Lamar plays as well as he did, against San Fran either. Like I said, man, I'm on Miami plus the points. and then double dipping in my Tua future there.
I'm right there with you.
At
We see it the same way.
10-1.
And absolutely.